I was never dropped by the UFC. I asked to be released because I was depressed. I had a breakdown. It killed me. It was the worst 9 months of my life. I got a failed drug test for Ostarine.
Ostarine was developed as a non-steroidal alternative to anabolic steroids.
And I even said this when it all happened. I said, listen, if I was going to take something, I'm not going to take Ostarine. They get back in touch with me, Mr. Wallhead. We've had the product you sent us. In that time, we've ordered directly online from America, from England, the products, and we've tested that. Every single one of Ostarine. The company will put it in the product to boost the products. Never been so low. And then, yeah, everyone thinking you're a drugs cheater, just the whole stress of it, the anxiety, ruining, man. But then out of that...
Yeah, Jimmy's going to make him pay for those mistakes.
From out of that horrible hardship and that terrible time in my life, 4 of the biggest winners of my career and captured a world title. But it makes you stronger, doesn't it?
But what advice would you give to somebody that was going through something similar to you there?
I had the bad days, you don't deserve the good. Good days will come, they might just take a while. It might take 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, but like you say, put 100% in. Yeah. It might not be straight away, but you will get 100% out.
So today's episode then was with Jimmy Wallhead, who is an absolute beast of a MMA fighter. I've known Jimmy a long time, being around this area anyway, that we both grew up. But seeing his journey has been amazing. And also today's episode, obviously, we dug deep into things that I didn't know happened in his journey, if I'm honest. And that's why it's important to pull these things out. The things that have broke him, but also reshaped him and enabled him to, as you will hear in the podcast today, become a better man out the back of it. And that's, something that I think happens so often in people's lives that they don't see it for what it is at the time. But, as you'll hear in today's episode, it's really something that I think a lot of people can take away to understand that you will always come out better in the end. So I hope you enjoy today's podcast. It's been a really, really good one again. And there's lots of insights and nuggets that you can take away. Okay, so here we are again in the room, the Lion Mind, the next podcast. And I'm really, really excited to get Jimmy, my good fellow friend of Loughborough, in on today. Jimmy, just in a brief before we go into the big present you bought me, because I can see it parked outside.
That's it, man.
I keep saying it every week, thinking that someone's going to bring me a car one day. But just tell us who you are and what you do, what you've done.
Who am I? A retired MMA fighter and full-time coach. And that pretty much sums me up. That's my life. It's just all around MMA. Gym owner in Loughborough, HW1. Fitness, martial arts, and just a health and fitness gym. And yeah, I coach full time and still move around with the lads, keep myself sharp and stuff. But fighting career is now finished.
Yeah. When did you open your gym again? I feel
it was November.
Last year.
November last year.
Yeah. Cool. So obviously we'll go into a lot of stuff today. I've got some juicy stuff I'd like to go into today as well. But before we start off, obviously we start every podcast with a little present. I say it's for me. It's not really for me. It's for the wall.
Yeah, it's like gifts, yeah.
I just want loads of presents, I just invite people to give me lots. But yeah, so hit us with your present. It's something that represents you, that reminds us that you've been.
Well, it's a pretty crap present, really. I still understand what my man meant when he messaged me. I was like, what's he mean? So I got you a T-shirt.
Oh, that's not
too small, but
that's
it's
not
obviously
a bad
my
present.
gym T-shirt. So there you go. So all I'm about is the gym. So there's a little gym tee for you, mate. It's a bit
Thank
big
you
for the
very
wall.
much.
But
No. I will.
Probably a little bit small for you.
I'll put it into a frame so that it's nice. But just tell us, 'cause obviously, just to highlight for the guys. Obviously, that's the logo. I think I've lost it now. For the people who are on the YouTube, anyway, that's the logo. But yeah, HW1. Tell us who that is and where it came from.
Well, it's a team of guys, but original gym was Hardy Wallhead in Colville. We shut that and we expanded into this gym with our team. And there's a few of us to it. Obviously, the head coaches and myself and Joe Taylor, who you've done some work with.
Yeah.
Got a lot of other great coaches there as well. And yeah, just bringing martial arts to the community, all ages, from kids up to adults, from beginners to pro. For fitness, for self-defense, for those that want to look to strive and compete in jiu-jitsu in MMA and kickboxing. Just trying to, try and make people's lives a bit better and do what we love.
But although you've been to the peak of the level, if you like, a lot of the gym, I get the vision. You're trying to bring it to everyone, aren't you? So that it's, because I think it's good to say, isn't it? Like, you don't want to scare people off by thinking it's just for people who want to jump in a ring. Do you know what I'm saying? It's for everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's always the problem with MMA gyms. I think we've had that problem at the old gym and this gym, but I think word's getting around now. We've run it, all the classes you've been, all the classes are, obviously super friendly, technically based, bit of fitness based, and that's pretty much it for the classes. And then you start to transition towards some rolling if you want to, and then obviously sparring if you want to. There's no sort of demand or pressure. You have to fight, you have to spar, you have to compete. Just come and learn some skills and get fit, and even in that self-defense manner, bit of self-confidence, especially with the kids, discipline and self-confidence. We see them speak to parents as well, having a bad time at school, bullied or low self-confidence, and seeing loads of the kids absolutely bloom, change massively, and they're happier, parents happier. So that's really nice. That's the side of it I find really rewarding for myself and really enjoy seeing, you know what I mean?
And I guess it's why you started doing it originally, right? Because that's
I mean, well, with myself, it was I watched the Karate Kid and wanted to do something. My mum took me to judo, so that's how it happened for me, just on a random one. But I think for the kids, it's certainly something we want to build and need to build our place. It's getting busier. I think word of mouth needs to get around a little bit, and got a real good kids program, Monday to Thursday, and a couple hours on a Saturday morning, mix across striking, jiu-jitsu and wrestling. So
love it.
Anyone's watching locally, get your kids down.
Yeah, well, I'll vouch for that. I have been down. It is a very good gym. I'll be honest, when I first seen it, I was like, shit, there's been some money spent there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I like to see a gym that's like, well equipped, because it's, it's not all about the materials, I know that, but it's a gym that's very well equipped to be able to do, everything within the martial arts. So, but I appreciate the present, my man.
No.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me, bro.
So let's dig into, your lifestyle and where you started and everything. Just again, please correct me if I'm wrong, but so I've got on here, professional mixed martial arts fighter, welterweight division. That was your main
majority? Majority. I fought quite a few times at middleweight and even heavyweight as well. Once.
Just more for the listeners, really. Like, what's welterweight? What weight is that? What we
so welterweight's 12 stone, 1 pound, I believe, 170 pounds, 77 kilos. That's the welterweight category.
I'm a kilo man, so that makes sense.
Yeah, 77. That's why I was working the kilos. So 77 kilos is welterweight. 84 kilos, give or take half a kilo with allowances and stuff, is middleweight. And heavyweight was over 93. And they're the 3 divisions that I've competed in.
Yeah, so you've been up to the heavyweight as well?
First fight was heavyweight, just
really?
A bit.
Is that just because you were there anyway?
Just I was lifting weights, wasn't doing anything. Bulky, fat, untrained mess, and drifted into a couple of MMA fights. Wasn't really training martial arts at all, just lifting weights, and wasn't fit, wasn't sharp, and just met a drunk promoter and got a fight. That's how it all began in the MMA. And started it through a couple, just on aggression, a bit of judo experience. Then got beat up a couple of times, and then took it serious. That was the stumbling pathway into doing it properly. Yeah.
So how old were you when you did your first fight?
Don't quote me, but I think 21. I think I was 21. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Because obviously up to now you've had 48 fights, 36 wins. Pretty good stats.
Yeah, with K1 as well. Yeah, not done bad. Fought all over the world and stuff, and a lot of big promotions and. A lot of good nights, a lot of bad nights, but been a good journey, and I've been blessed, really, to be honest. Yeah,
the thing when you look at journeys like what you've had, there's a lot of emotions, isn't there? A lot of ups and downs, and I guess your last fight was it this year? I'm mixed up. It was.
Yeah, it was this year.
Yeah, it was
April time, I believe.
Yeah. So your last fight.
Yep.
How did you feel going into it?
Hindsight's a great thing. I mean, I had a pretty rough year, a few things going on, which I'm not going to get into, but I'm not going to make excuses either. I had a good camp for Reese. I felt good in camp. Probably should have called it after I won the belt. You know what I mean? I felt like that was it. You know, inside, like, oh, you know, that's it. Everything I've done, I wanted to do that I came back for. And I think I just pushed too much. I had a good camp, but just wasn't right on the night. Didn't feel right on the night. Whatever the reasons. Wasn't a terrible performance. Watching it back, wasn't as bad as I felt in there. You know, didn't feel great in there. But he did a fantastic job. And by the end, I couldn't really see, so I had to.
Yeah, I actually watched it back again last night. You know, just to remember how it went and stuff. And yeah, your eyes were pretty closed up by the end.
A lot of blood. If you watch that fourth round, as I'm circling, I'm actually like, I've got no peripheral. I'm like looking where the cage is, nearly like rolling my ankle as I'm going back. He used his jab fantastic. He fought a great fight, Reese. A lovely guy as well.
He's got a long reach, hasn't he?
Long reach, and fantastic on his behalf. I'd say above average performance for him and a slightly below performance for me. Not saying I'd beat him on a good day, because he did a fantastic job. But I believe I can do better than that. But it's a shame to end it on that. But, you know, and again, that was a weird psychological thing, walking into a fight, you know, or the last one, maybe I did too much on it or played too much on it, or I don't switch my mind if I'm done after this. I don't know. It was a weird one. I don't know if it was underperformance or my head weren't. I don't know. It was a weird one. The whole thing was weird.
So did you feel before your fight? Did you have a little bit of that feeling before the fight? Do you know what I'm saying? Or did you feel like locked in and 100%?
I felt a little bit weird, and then weird one. I can't really explain that. Maybe I made too much of a thing in my head, being the last one. Oh, this is the last one. I don't know.
Had you already hung your gloves up in your head or something?
I don't know. It was strange. I can't put my finger on it. I don't want to make an excuse either, because Reese, you know, outshone me that night. But a weird one. Excuses aside, a weird one, you know. But it was a shame to end like that. I would have liked to go out with the win and stuff, but it is what it. Like we spoke earlier, you know, it's just. Nothing changes. Nothing changes, really.
Have you ever had any mindset work or help or therapy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Over the years, yeah.
And do you find that helps you come to terms with those types of things?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's what stage you're at in your personal life and your career, and the timing as well, where you're at to absorb it and use it as well. You know, it can be the greatest advice in the world, but if you're not ready to take it on board or manage it and use what's given to you, then it's all gobbledygook, isn't it?
It is.
So,
it is.
But in hindsight, maybe I should have sat and talked to someone about the last fight. But you know, I don't know. I thought I'd be all right. I thought I was good. And I was all right. You know, he did a great job. So maybe I should stop making excuses. But he did a great job. But we get to my age as well. And, like I said to you, I had a rough few years ago with something happened in my life, and I was on a 4-fight win streak. I felt, you know, bulletproof mentally for the last few years, and then a little bit creeped in on that last one. Maybe because it was the already hanging the gloves up thing, or before the fight I spoke to like USC and stuff like that, and they're absolutely cool. We had a good conversation, but like basically not going to sign an old dude like you, and you know what I mean. Maybe I was just like, nah, you know.
So how old was this guy?
He's just got signed. He fights again. He's signed back. He fights again Paris next month, so he's back in the UFC now.
And he's young.
Yeah, 25. Something Reese.
Do you think that's a big part of it? Like, because fighting, I don't know if I'm saying the right thing here, because I'm not a fighter, right? But I like to say age doesn't matter, right? Because I hate that feeling of age affects you. Age will change certain things, but it shouldn't affect your outcome. Is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But do you feel, as a fighter, like you just inevitably will get slower, less powerful, and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I believe so. I think so to a degree, unless you're, you know, potentially getting aided and stuff like that. If you know what I mean, like we spoke about earlier. But on the flip side,
but you should be getting wiser, right?
Exactly. There you go. But on the flip side, experience.
Yeah.
Experience. I mean, the amount of things that I can do and get away with because of the experience of the 50 fights and all the years being beat up in gyms and all the training and all the bad days. You know, that's gold in itself, isn't it? So that should realistically balance out against
could outweigh.
But again, someone who's on an upwards trajectory like Reese, you know, back to where he's absolutely set on being. It's a tough a tough wall to break down, you know, a tough battle to win. So, yeah, I don't know. It's because you think about it for hours and debate it for hours, isn't it?
No, you can. And
it's
without
interesting thoughts, isn't it? You know
without
what I mean?
meaning to, you can make up excuses, can't you?
Exactly. I don't want to sound like.
The bottom line is that's how it ended. You have to look at the positives, don't you? You've had a hell of a career. And obviously you've also got everything you've got going forward now, haven't you? So, and that's your direction change, isn't it, really?
Exactly, and maybe there's a factor of that as well, on top of the retirement, on top of this, on top of that throughout the old camp, throughout the whole comeback, the 3 fights it's been pretty few things going on personally, and been pretty rough, like you know, fighting inevitably cost me money. It's selfish to my business partners, it's selfish to my kids, my wife, it's selfish to my students, it's selfish to my fighters for the reward that I'm being paid. You know what I mean? It's not, unless you're getting paid good money, it's costing, you know what I mean? And you know, I say good money, I mean good money. Like, you got to think, you know, a camp, whatever, 12, 18 weeks or whatever season or whatever, the amount of sacrifice, you ain't doing PTs, you're not doing your classes, you know what I mean? You're neglecting
social, family life and stuff like that.
Everything, you know, extra expense, you know, I commute up and down to London then a couple of times a week and stuff, and obviously more expensive meals, nutrition, you know, it's just the costs mount up as well, don't they? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it just ends up costing money. Money. So, you know, unless, you know, someone turns around to me and offers me a figure that I believe's where I'm going to make good money out of it, there's that side. Oh, like the motivation to lose money is not never top of my list either. You know what I mean? Yeah. To cost me to do something. Yes, it's a thin line. I love doing it, but you know, what's it willing to cost financially and emotionally on the people around you that you love and care about? It's there's always that.
Yeah.
Down the back burner.
Do you feel like you've lost the fire for fighting now?
I think I've lost the fire for the training camps.
Going through the process of getting to a fight,
love to fight. Love to spar. I spar every day with my guys who've got fights. Roll every day. Still hit cardio.
And you still feel that?
Still hit my cardios in the week, once a week. I'm still not far off a PB. Like, you know, I'm still fit. I'm still. I don't know why, because I probably don't know no better. Maybe retired, you know what I mean? But I'm still training. I know, maybe subliminally hoping someone comes along and offers me that figure that I want to go and fight again, and maybe I will.
It's not unknown.
But who knows? But I don't know. I just love it. I just love the lifestyle of the training. But when I say camp's that step up. So I love training. I love the lifestyle. But camp, calorie deficit, 3 sessions a day. You know what I mean? No U time. The wear and tear on the body. You know, I've got my knees jacked. Been bad for years, my knee, since 2019. My knee's screwed. Like, you know, how long till I actually fully go? You know what I mean? It's just too much. It's a
lot to take on.
Yeah, the body is the body. Like you're saying about the speed in the body, I still feel pretty fast, and I feel I can, with the experience, use the speed and power that I have now well with the experience. It like complements each other well, but the body don't wake up the same in the morning. And you know, have a great day off, but then, you know, to go back down or go down to London and, you know, whatever, a 3-hour drive, 2.5 hour drive, if traffic's a bit rough, which it usually is, to then get down there with some of the best guys in the world, you know, Paige, Shipman, Norbert Navene, you know, John Hathaway and Felix, all these guys. Love them to bits, but man, it's a drive. It's an anxious drive down every week, and we have great spars, and it's just the next day I wake up feeling absolutely written off, you know.
But you got to think like the mental exhaustion as well, haven't you? Because again, I'm not talking for you, but driving down there, knowing that you're not going to get your head kicked in, but you're not going to have an easy fight. But that's the point, right? That is what it's about. And you know you're going to fucking give them everything that you've got as well. But even knowing that's coming up, it's anxious, right? Your central nervous system's fired up. You're trying to stay in a calm state, but you're like fucking. You know, it's like me for a competition. Like, however much you think you're ready, there's always that doubt. There's always that pressure and everything else that's coming on top, isn't there? So you're putting yourself mentally through a lot there, aren't you? Just on that build up.
Self doubt and. Yeah, you're saying, always self-doubt.
100%,
Always. Fear, whatever you want to say in it. Those that say they don't have that, they're lying, 100%.
My set coach always says about the whole, like, you know, obviously you got the chimp in your head, like, you know, like you've got the voice in your head, whatever, and you've got different people, haven't you? And you have to try and block out, you know, the noise, and actually just be like, no, this is my box. This is what I stick to.
Yeah.
You know, this is what I know and I can do.
Yeah.
And you just got to make sure that you don't let anybody else get in that box.
Yeah, yeah.
Because whoever you listen to is right, and you know that, don't you? Like.
Yeah. The more you let everything drift in, they'll snowball and grow. Innit? That self-doubt. You know what I mean? If you allow it, I always think like a furnace. Put them negative thoughts in a furnace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I try and then put some positive ones in there, quick time to counteract it. But it's horrible, isn't it? But then when you get out of victory, or even when you're competing, like you told me, obviously winning's fantastic, right? We all love to win. Even that race fight, I got beat up, you know, mess at the end, couldn't see, bad day, end of a career. I still enjoyed having the fight. Enjoyed having the fight. Like I walk out there, sit backstage, getting stitched up. I'm like, there's nothing I'd rather do as well. You have to have horrible camp and all the other shit around the camp and the life and the personal life. I still love to fight.
It's still you, isn't it?
It's
still what you do.
Yeah, that competition. It's the purest thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like you compete, you know what I mean? Moving mountains. It's it's other absolute, you know, beasts of men. What an experience, you know what I mean? So it's always nice to win, innit? But you're in that
but
very
you're still
small
doing that
percentage.
thing
You're
love.
I don't know, you're 1%.
Yeah,
1%.
Yeah.
It's nice to be in that echelon of high level competition against other great athletes and great men, innit? It's wicked, you know? It's great to test yourself, innit?
So how long after your fight with Reese then, how long did it take you to, let's say, get over it? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because obviously...
I don't know if I am. No, I'm over it.
But what do you go through? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, because how do you have a, I don't know if this is a thing, but do you have a structure, a system that you take yourself through to analyse these things? Or are you quite like, just fucking crack on and go to Tesco and go and get some shopping? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I watched that fight once. I mean, the ones you win when you do something cool, a highlight reel, knockout, you watch it 100 times. Weird that, isn't it? Weird that, very strange. But now I watched it once, and like I said, I felt pretty terrible in that fight.
How did you feel watching the fight?
I don't think it looked as bad as I felt in that. I felt pretty despicable in that. I felt really off ball. Very simple, felt off ball. Looking back, didn't look terrible. See what mistakes I was making and the things he was doing fantastically well. But like personally, you know, intrinsically inside, I didn't look how I was feeling. So that was something to take away from it. But yeah, watched it, and it is what it is. Done. Nothing can change in it. It's done. You know. And like I say, because of the situation I'm in with the business and the money I'm being paid to fight, etc., I'm not fighting no more. So my fighting career is done. Do I wish someone would come along, give me the money I want to fight? Yeah, of course, as well. Even though it is selfish, do you know what I mean? But at least with that reward of financially being rewarding, you know, at least you bring something back to you. You know what I mean? Your family, or it's worth the sacrifice to a degree. Whilst you still got years left in the tank, I think I can still fight for a couple. Even if I'm getting to the end of it age-wise, I think I could fight for a couple more years, drag it out, and hopefully nothing goes on me and get through it. But as it is, I'm done, innit? Like I said to you, I think I love to train, I love to compete, and I love to fight. So I think next year I'll grapple. I think next year I'll do some grappling. Just for the competitive side, you know what I mean? Just to get some competition out, to try and scratch that itch, you know? Or it might get too bad and I'm like, no, I'm not, because no one's going to pay me right. But deep down, you know, you wish, don't you? You hope and pray.
But as well, it gives you that purpose, doesn't it? Like you're driven that way and you're focused by those types of things, so you need that.
But even as a coach, like, stay relevant. You know, put my feet up now and just keep teaching the same things over and over and over, and that'd be me. But I don't want to ever be that coach. You know, I want to be, even if it doesn't mean getting in the trenches and mixing up, still be around it. You know, stay relevant, evolve with the sport. That's one thing why I feel like I managed to win the title and still be, you know, headlining top European shows at my age after coming back after a long time out, because I stayed relevant. I never just settled. I'm always trying to evolve and stay relevant with the sport, and I aim to do that as a coach as well forever. You know what I mean? I know what it takes to compete, and also hopefully transition that into being a successful coach and yeah, give that to my fighters as well.
Yeah.
Involve them.
It's keeping your ear close to the ground, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
rather than letting things change and you not go with it. You know, you got to be
just lazy,
present,
innit?
haven't you?
Yeah, it's just lazy. So try and be proactive with it.
So let's talk about your family then. So you got son and daughter.
Yeah.
I get mixed up with who's the older. The son.
No, my daughter's
the older
Georgia.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. She's a receptionist at HW1.
Yeah.
One of our receptionists.
Yeah. So how old's your daughter now?
She's 17.
Yeah.
In October. 16, I mean, sorry. She's 16, 17 soon.
Yeah.
And my lad's 12, 13 soon.
Yeah. And how was it with those growing up with you fighting? Because I've got obviously a little 3-year-old. Like, he's obsessed with punching at the minute.
Yeah.
And it's a funny one, isn't it? Because it's like, actually at nursery the other day he got into a little scruffle or something.
Right, okay.
But it's one of those things where it's like, I would never want any of my children to be a pushover. But at the same time, you don't want them to be the bully, right?
Yeah.
But how is it with you growing up with your children? Or sorry, your children growing up with seeing you do what you do? Did it? I don't know. Did it make them think that it was something that they needed to do, or was that just Daddy's job? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I know what you mean. They're both. I never wanted to push him. Like, maybe my dad didn't push me. I was grateful for what my dad done for me as a youth and a young man now, a kid and a young man. But at the time, I thought he was pushing me, innit? And me and my dad fell out for a few years, or didn't really see it. But now obviously I've grown up and I'm very grateful and apologetic for things I've done in the past and didn't appreciate him, etc. Do you know what I mean? But I never wanted to push my kids in the sense that I felt he pushed me. Even though I now realise he actually didn't. He just loved me and knew I had potential. But at the time, it felt like he was pushing. I never wanted to make them feel like that, so I never ever made the kids do anything. But Georgia did a bit. Trained a little bit. Junior's done a little bit. Used to take Georgia when I trained down to London. She used to come down and do pad work and boxing work with Debbie Terrell, who was an ABA boxing champion. So that was really nice and stuff. So Georgia did quite a bit for a while. And then they both just drifted away. Georgia's being a very girly girl. But ironically, about 3 weeks ago, Junior says I want to come gym, and he's done 4 or 5 days a week for the last 3 weeks.
Really? And that's off his own back, yeah?
Yeah. So I'm not so I'm just like obviously super happy.
Yeah, trying to keep it inside,
yeah. But he's doing PT with one of our jiu-jitsu coaches, he's really good, Riley. So he has a PT with Riley on a Friday. He's doing all the kids' classes. I'm padding him a little bit, so who knows? But I'm just chill with it. Just whatever he wants to do. You know what I mean? But he's good, he's good, he moves well. Kicks really well. Good footwork, so who knows?
I think it's inevitable that he's going to be good, though.
I hope so. But so I took him and the missus to the Four Nations the other week, because we had a few lads fighting. I'm one of the English coaches, so they came and they watched the event. It was actually from that, because there was some young kids.
So he got a bit,
I think it was a bit of that. I think he's seen these young lads his age, or a little bit older. I thought,
that's good though, isn't it? They're the magic moments, aren't they? Where it's like,
so I think
his heart's just gone with that rather than his head sort of thing.
Yeah, he's just he likes to go on his bike and play with his mates, but a lot of Xbox. So he come and said, I want to come gym Monday. I'm like, all right, Sam. So like I say, it's been 3 or 4 weeks of a good handful of sessions a week and
so
a bit of motivation.
Would you push him to be the next you? Later down the line, would you like him to take your footsteps?
I'd love both of them. I mean, Georgia was great as well. I'd love them both to compete. Yeah, I'd love them both to compete. But
you're just making sure it's off their own back. Is that your thoughts?
Yeah. If they want to compete, I'd love it. I'd love it. Yeah.
How's Jo about it? Like, is she happy?
About him compete, I'm not so sure. There's obviously nothing on the horizon, so it's not been a deep conversation. But she loves him training and she's obviously with Junior at the age of that, like a teenage boy. He's on his Xbox a lot and full of testosterone, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, a bit cheeky to his mum, a bit cheeky to me and stuff. And his behaviour is loads better. It's a lot better these last few weeks. So he's like finding an event for all that pent up.
Yeah, he's actually putting it to use rather than just shouting at the Xbox or whatever.
Smashing controllers and shit, you know what I mean? So,
starting wars with someone in China or something.
Exactly. So
Don't know
yeah,
what
so
they do
she's
now,
happy.
though.
So she's happy. She's happy with it. So it's good. Like I was saying earlier, with the kids that come to gym, you see it. You know what I mean? You see it. You see it better them. You know what I mean? It's good.
I just want to take your time for a second just to do a shout out to HW1, who are in Loughborough, the Mixed Martial Arts Centre. I've been there myself, and it is another level when it comes to, you know, the sort of environment you're around with these guys. Jimmy, Dan Hardy, and, you know, all the other guys, they're pros, so they feed that mindset to everybody that's there. But that being said as well, it's not just for the professionals, it's for anybody who wants to get into, you know, maybe for the fitness and fat loss side of things, or it may be just generally, you know, looking after yourself and, you know, self-defense sort of side. Whatever it is, this is the place that you want to go to if you're in and around Loughborough and you want to get into mixed martial arts. Let's go into, I guess, a scenario that happened in your life where you failed your drug test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, obviously, just for, I think people know, but let's just recap on it. You can't take any drugs, any performance-enhancing drugs within your sport.
No, not in the UFC. On the USADA, no.
Right, so that is the UFC side, yeah. So
I was in
can
UFC.
can you in other federations?
No, it's not. It's not encouraged or advocated
Allowed,
and stuff. Yeah. But outside the UFC, pretty sure people do.
Yeah. So do you think everyone in the UFC is clean?
No.
And it's such a tough one, isn't it? Because like in strongman, right? As you know, there is no rules on PDs. The only rule I try and say is, for fuck's sake, just do things safe. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're going to say there's no rules, it's a bit like, don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's your health and your life, isn't it? So it's not a rule, but that's just what I like to say.
Yeah.
But within what you do, though, there's going to be so many people that are just pushing boundaries, aren't they? Like and testing things out and getting away with things.
100%. I mean, all top level sport that's involved.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be lying if you say not in it.
Yeah.
To a degree. But on the flip side,
Yeah.
I also see people getting popped and stuff, and until it happens to you, you think guilty.
Yeah.
Piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then you go through the mill, and you realise there's always a lot of different ones to the rule. So yeah.
So what did you get a failed drug test for?
I got a failed drug test for Ostarine,
Which is?
which at the time I had no idea, but as we spoke about earlier, well, you said it better than me. Basically like a steroid stimulus, right?
Yeah.
To a degree.
Ultimately it tricks your body to think you're on a growth steroid sort of inhibitor. But yeah. So how often did you get drug tested?
So this is the thing. So I'm on USADA 24 hours a day. So you have a plan. You have your itinerary 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I could be drug tested 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
So, and
Still now? No.
No. I'm in the UFC. Whilst
yeah.
I was in the UFC, whilst I was in the competition,
Yeah.
I even got like a towel, like a athlete of the UFC, best athlete, fulfilling his schedule. I was that on it. It was very good.
Yeah.
Multiple urine tests, blood tests. No issue. I wasn't taking no drugs. And I even said this when it all happened. I said, listen, if I was going to take something, well, I'd take something worthwhile. Testosterone, growth hormone, bloody EPO. I don't know. The top. If I'm going to cheat, I'm not going to take Ostarine. A £10 tablet or whatever. Yeah, I'm not going to take Ostarine.
Yeah.
And because I was that straight with them, to be honest, Jeff Nowitzki from the UFC, the head of USADA, was fantastic support. And I can't say his surname, but Anye, who was one of the heads of USADA, was absolutely fantastic. And they believed me and basically stood by me. And so with the UFC, they were fantastic. Because there's a lot to it. Like if you want to talk about it, so long and short of it, I tested positive for Ostarine. Obviously, absolute shock to the system. All the governing bodies got in touch with me and stuff and wanted to investigate. And the first protocol was to tell them all the products I was taking or all the products I had changed taking.
Yeah.
So,
Had you had some new stuff that you were
yeah,
taking?
so I bought the BCAs from the shop that's non-existent in Loughborough no more. Total Nutrition, weren't it?
Yeah.
It's not here no more. I'm not going to say the brand of the company, even though they have changed their name. But I was looking to take them to court, but I got told it cost me 15 grand even just to get it in there, and I'm not guaranteed to win, so I bailed on that. But I'm not still going to say the company because I want to get it the other way. But I bought a BCA. It's the best tasting BCA I've ever had in my life. I went in there with my mate Craig Turner and we bought it. He bought some bits, I bought this BCA, just amino acid. Turns out it was in that. So USADA said, what are the products you're taking? I was taking multiple products, a protein pancake, a whey protein that I put in my porridge, energy drinks, like a few bits and bobs. And what they said to me was every product you think it could be contaminated, because obviously I said I'm not taking anything intentionally. Every product you believe it could be in, you need to send us. And we're going to charge you $1,000 to test each product individually. I shit you not, I promise you. So I was on not a very good wage in the UFC. And luckily, the UFC supported me and tested. I sent 3 products and the UFC supported me and they covered that. So again, I'm very grateful for that. It was around Christmas. I didn't have much money at the time, so it was very much appreciated. And I sent the products, didn't hear nothing. And the ironic thing is, so when you buy as you know, you buy a product, it's in a batch, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I don't know, whatever a batch is.
Yeah, like 100 or X,
50
whatever.
tubs, 100 tubs, whatever the company's using, yeah. So a guy called Tom Lawler reached out to me. I don't know if you know Tom Lawler. He's wrestled at, I think, AEW and not WWE, but he was a fighter who got failed drug test for Ostarine. Same thing. And he tried to clear his name and he messaged me and said, because I thought, it's Ostarine, I ain't took anything, I'm going to be clear here, I'm going to be cool. Like, this is little thing sorted very quickly. And he basically emailed me or messaged me on Twitter and says, look, mate, I had this. I sent about 50 products in, every single one was thinking because of the batch, because it's usually a contaminated batch. So if we have 50 tubs and they put it through the same machine, there's only a few machines in the UK that do it. All the products go, do you know what I mean, through to one place, one factory as such. And he says you can be really lucky here if it's positive again, but the chances are they're all going to come back negative. I spent a fortune, blah blah blah, and I'm like, oh shit, head in my hands, like fucking no way. So I didn't hear anything. So I went and bought some from the shop, sent that again, but it was a different batch. Didn't hear anything for a while.
So the one you'd actually taken at the time, had that gone?
No, I had it, but it was open, so I couldn't send it, because for all late now, I could just sprinkle some Ostarine in it.
Ah, I've got you.
So I had to send it sealed, untouched. So the one I had, they didn't want to see that, because that could just be fucking, I could just call bullshit.
I've got you, yeah.
So they could call bullshit, you know what I mean? So sent one that I bought, a fresh one, went to the shop and bought another one, but a different batch, more than likely, I presume, because it was a couple of months later, a few months later. Didn't hear anything for ages, in a right bad way with it. Really, I saw about it, but caused me to have a depression and everything. It's pretty rough. They get back in touch with me and they says, Mr. Wallhead, we've had the product you sent us. We tested that. In that time, we've ordered directly online from America, from England, the products from the company it is as well. And we've tested that. I went, right. Every single one with Ostarine. This is the only reason I got cleared my name. This is the only reason. So the company will put it in the products to boost the products. It's actually something that happens quite often now, I find out. So the one I had Ostarine in, the one I sent had Ostarine in, and the one they bought themselves had Ostarine.
So luckily,
not on the ingredients, obviously, not on the ingredients. Yeah, just BCA, leucine, isolene, valine, or whatever it is. That was all I needed. I checked everything. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew I was in a testing pool for probably the biggest testing organisation in the world. I'm not stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then they're like, right, we're going to clear. But it took 9 months, 8 months, and they went, look, just to make a point, we're giving you, was it 8 months or 9 months? Whenever they said, the ban was up, they said, we're going to give you a 9-month ban, just to stress the point of that you should use a bigger company, because I'd use this UK company, BCA. I always use big companies, but it's because it was this one, this BCA, this small UK company. They said, we're giving you a 9-month ban, but basically it's spent, so you can compete again. We just did
because
that.
you'd already
They
done the spent it.
Yeah, the process, and they basically it was like a bit of a facade. They said this just to let athletes know in the UFC, use big companies, but you're clear to fight, and obviously we're happy that it's all been proven and stuff. But it ruined me. It ruined me.
But you couldn't fight within that time anyway.
Not in that 9 months anyway. No.
And what were you doing with yourself? How were your days?
Well, I was just coaching. But
were you on
training.
point? Were you?
No, terrible. I mean, the Echo. I mean, I've had a few bits in the Echo since, but I don't really. But I know the journalist that wrote the article at the time, Wallhead, failed drugs test, and all this in the paper. Do you know what I mean? I was teaching kids classes at Skillings at the time. Man, to sit down, busy kid class, 20 kids. Man, sit down with the parents and basically speak and just say everything I just said to you, and then. Again, not knowing I was ever going to be cleared as well. It's horrible, man. Do you know what I mean?
And as well, let's be honest, a lot of people will call bullshit on that.
100%. I call bullshit. Every time I see someone tested, I'd say, piece of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, not tested, positive.
Yeah.
I'd always go, terrible. Unless it's fucking Boldenone or fucking, you know what I mean, EPO or something. But I've seen a few of this Austrian, you just think, you know what I mean?
Well,
maybe some of them did take it.
Unfortunately as well, Psalms have got that name, haven't they? Because they're the easy source that a lot of people say.
Well, at the time, they sent info packs and emails with all these products. I didn't know what Austrian was, but because I knew I wasn't taking any, so I didn't. But then obviously you get educated through the process of hardship.
Yeah.
It was rough, but I got depressed from it. And the UFC actually said they were going to give me another fight. They were cool. Glad to see the back of it. And I actually asked to be released by the UFC. I was never dropped by the UFC. I asked to be released. I had a good relationship with them. They were very good to me, and they supported me through this. But I never got caught. People think I got caught from the UFC. I actually asked to leave. Because I was depressed. I had a breakdown. It killed me. It was the worst 9 months of my life. Never been so low. And then, everyone thinking you're a drugs cheat, and just the whole stress of it, the anxiety, it ruined me, man. But then out of that, I came. At the time, I went on a 4-fight win streak against them. After that, I didn't plan on fighting again. I was done. And then out of nowhere, a few months later, Bellator offered me some really good money to fight. And, like, good money, I thought, I don't want to fight again. I signed it, so I don't know when I want to fight. And as the months and days went on, I started to get motivated. I thought, rebuild myself, got my head right, started goal setting on the future. And I ran off for the biggest wins of my career and captured a world title from out of that horrible hardship and that terrible time in my life. Until a little bit of a mental blimp in that last fight, a little bit, but still no excuse. I was in a great place. Like, and even that fight, I wasn't nowhere near. I used to be so worried about pressure. I still walk out to that last fight enjoying myself. It changed me. It made me so much stronger going through this whole Austrian debacle. It ruined me, but then made me mentally strong.
What made you feel so weak? Why? What was the feeling?
Just
and the thoughts?
one being innocent and being, like you said, everyone calls bullshit, you know. And
so people thinking you're lying.
People thinking low of me, and that was the one. I was never sitting there with the parents on that Saturday morning class at Skillings I used to run, and I'm sitting there with the parents, just the way they look at you, like judging you, and you know they're thinking. Some of them thinking bullshit. Some are probably thinking sorry, but it's just horrible. It's the whole process. Front page, back page of the paper, just bullshit. Just horrible. You know what I mean? If you've done it, you put your hand up and say, "Yeah, I'm a piece of shit," but I mean, you ain't. It was, it was just rough and just upsetting, and you know, I'd waited 12 years to get in the UFC. 12 years. I worked 12 years. I didn't get picked for Ultimate Fighter. Too experienced. I beat Che Mills. Promised I was promised WEC. Never got signed the contract. Then UFC bought WEC. I won the 4-man tournament in Holland, too hot to handle. Held a big pride contract at the end. In the second, so I won that at 83. The 73, 83, 93. The 73 went to Japan, fought in Pride. Next was me. In between that time, UFC bought Pride. I'd never signed the papers, didn't get into the UFC that way. The amount of times I had huge opportunities to be in the UFC. The IFL was going to be signed to the British Bulldogs. I was part of that team. That never materialised. I had all these massive opportunities to get to these big promotions, these big experiences. And then I get there. I get to the UFC. I get there. The first fight, I performed absolutely shocking, but I thought I won. I lost the split decision, but I thought I won. The second fight, rough day at the office. And then I failed drug test. It was terrible. It was terrible.
So for you, that start was not the way you
I
wanted
feel
to.
like from being such a high, I think that's why obviously, being told, being branded a drug sheet was pretty rough, but I feel the factor of 12 years to get to this pinnacle, and then negative, and then terribly negative, it just broke me. It's just an accumulation of bullshit. It's just an accumulation of bad experiences and like pretty heart-wrenching experiences. I got to UFC and nothing good happened in life. You know
How
what
were
I
the
mean?
people around you, like your family and friends?
Support. They knew straight away, you know what I mean? Like, listen, I put my ad say in it. Like I said to you, next year I plan on getting juiced to the 9 and doing some grappling comps. Do you know what I mean? I say how it is. Do you know what I mean? It's like, they were supportive, but it was rough for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, depression is not nice, man. It was rough.
How are you spending your days through those periods then?
Just trying to keep busy, trying to keep training. If it was even just to keep myself sane, help my teammates. Do you know what I mean, etc. And try and vent some anger and frustration. I guess just trying to keep busy, trying to earn a little bit of money doing a couple of PTs. It was just a rough time in ways because obviously then I had nothing. I had no gym. Fighting was probably the main source of poor income at the time. It was hard, man. It was hard. So.
But this is a clear fact, isn't it, of that lion mind?
That what? Sorry.
That lion mind.
Yeah.
You know, that is the perfect example of you having that mindset of, because you're obviously going through a survival mode, right? Because you weren't having your best life at that point, but you weren't giving up.
No.
You know, and you was always thinking, I'm gonna continue to push forward.
Yeah.
Did you know you was gonna come out in the better, or did you still doubt that?
Not for a long time. I mean, obviously when I got told that, okay, we're clearing your name, we're accepting it was a tainted product, not a contaminated tainted product, and you didn't cheat. Even just that was just relief in itself. Do you know what I mean?
What did you do that day when you found out?
I think I cried a little bit, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it was pretty rough. I even feel myself now, like, it was a rough period, man. Do you know what I mean? It was a rough period.
But the moment you got told, what was the feeling?
Ecstatic, of course. Do you know what I mean? Relief. Absolute relief. Because it was rough, mate. It was rough. But, like you say, what it kills makes you stronger, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? It it snowboarded to me winning a world title. I come back. But I did them Bellator fights I wasn't thinking I was going to do. I beat Abner Lavares that fought in the UFC. He was a tough Spanish guy. Pietrini was the number one Italian. I beat him with one hand, broke my hand in the first punch. I beat him.
I remember that.
Beat him and then went on and beat Skabinski, tough Polish boy in that cage-wise comeback. And then, Figlak, who's top prospect, brothers in the UFC, he was planning on going there to capture the belt. So, without that horrible experience, I don't know if I would have done that. So,
do you feel like that gave you that fire?
Yes.
That, But as well, let's be honest. There's so many people that would have, let's just say, completely lost it. Do you know what I mean? Like, did you know you was not going to be the person to completely lose it? Did you know you was going to fight and get through?
No, I didn't know. No, I didn't like the person I was at that time, and I was fucking pretty horrible to be around, missus and kids and stuff. I'm lucky they were around. You know what I mean? Not good, but I'm glad they did hang around, and I'm glad I did get back. And we all have down days, even now. Do you know what I mean? But I promised myself I'd never ever be as low as I was in that time period, no matter what. No matter what, because life does always. If you don't have the bad days, you don't appreciate the good or deserve the good.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'm a big believer in that. You know what I mean? And good days will come. They might just take a while. Might take it 9 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. But like you say, you put 100% in. Yeah. It might not be straight away. But you will get 100% out. It's just going to take.
There has to be a tipping point. Doesn't
there? Got to go, man. Got to go.
What advice would you give somebody that, not necessarily goes through the exact same thing as you there, but you could put your scenario into many different scenarios of people's lives, right? But what advice would you give to someone if you're, someone that's feeling like they've lost everything? Because you must have felt like you lost everything.
Yeah.
You probably felt like there was no out, right? Yeah. And you felt like everybody hated you.
Well, yeah, I mean, people, I just thought I was something I wasn't.
Yeah.
And that in itself's
Because
deflating.
if
you
you're
know
not careful, this false identity of you could be your actual identity, right?
Yeah.
But what advice would you give to somebody that was going through something similar to you there?
I mean, that what I just said. I had the bad days, you don't deserve the good. And we just put 100% in, just fight, ride the wave, because unfortunately, this is life. It's unfortunate. And there's many things you can't control. I was trying to have control of everything in my life, you know what I mean? Like, understand, knew where I'm going, know this is here, know that's there, know what I'm doing. And in that way, is it? It isn't that
Do you
way.
think that's sometimes a bad thing? Because I often do that, where I try and control too much, and actually there's certain things you just can't control.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do you think that's sometimes a bad thing, where you're trying to control things that shouldn't be controlled?
That's only because you want to have a good life for yourself, compete, train, successful business, happy family. You know what I mean? But you just can't, can you?
No.
You just can't. There's always something cropping up, and it just depends on the severity of that thing that crops up, isn't it? How much of an effect it has on you in your life. A lot of things are more manageable, isn't it? But that was one of the harder ones to manage. But again, as far as advice goes, I don't know, man. It sounds corny, but good days will come. You have to believe they'll come. It ain't just going to come without you, like you're saying. I really like that. Then good days aren't going to come unless you knuckle down, keep a bit of faith, try and keep it positive you can. Do you know what I mean?
Do you do any vision work or anything like that?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Certainly when I'm fighting, I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more important at that point, right? But do you vision your future? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Do you think about where you're going in the future? Does that help you focus? Because, the reason I'm saying this, right, is because, when you feel like you've lost your track and you've not got your life in order the way that you planned it to be, well, then a lot of people struggle with that vision. It's like, well, I don't have that vision anymore because, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, that vision's gone and lost. But actually, if you vision this false future, do you know what I'm saying? Then sometimes you can actually find yourself walking that direction regardless, because it's, even if it's that, fake it till you make it, however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
cause I feel like that's a powerful thing, isn't it? Like where you, because
manifest it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're manifesting that future. You're thinking about what it could turn out to be, even if it's a different direction to what you set out originally.
Yeah.
But just knowing that there is going to be a better
future
phase. Within your life.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer in that. I see some people who are absolutely fantastic at that. Visualization and manifesting stuff and mental strength, like some of the guys I've trained with over the years and witnessed, they're phenomenal. I never was super strong at it myself, but to a degree, you got to. You gotta.
It's like having a vision board as well, isn't it? Like I quite like to do a vision board and to write things down. I mean, I'm not actually that religious on looking at it, if I'm honest, or going in and out of doing it. But even having that, like, I know it sounds daft and it's materialistic, but it's like I've got a camper van at the minute. My next goal is to get a pop-top roof and a bed in the back so we can take the kids away. And do you know what I'm saying? It's those sorts of things, isn't it? I mean, like I say, that's a material one. But when you're looking at, like, okay, this is what I want to do in the next couple of months, it gets you excited to go, okay, so we're going to start taking the kids away more and spending more time. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But being realistic goal setting as well. Being realistic with it. Do you know what I mean? That's I think it's very easy to. Well, I'm pretty good at keeping it realistic, but a lot of people maybe go too big as well. Like keep it baby steps, innit? Don't try and run before you can walk, but keep it positive, keep it in the right direction, and take small baby steps with it. And for every time you get knocked down, it's corny, innit? But get the foot back up. Take 2 steps back forward, innit? Just little baby steps, innit? Baby steps. It's rough though, man. It's rough. The older I'm getting, it's like you see, you know, you hear sad things and you see sad things. It's rough, isn't it? It's rough. Life's rough, man. Life's hard, isn't it?
Well, just as an outside looking in, you know, and this doesn't take away anything you've been through, you've always been a massive smiler to me.
Yeah, you reckon so?
I mean, maybe I make you smile. I don't know, but
Yeah,
no, but you know me. Like, every time I've always seen you,
Yeah.
I like to see you always got a bounce. You always got a thing.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
think
nice.
I think it's important to have a laugh in it, a laugh in a joke. I do.
It is, but it's nice to know that you know you going through that because it sounds like it was a really rough time.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, still something that hits you now.
Yeah,
I
felt
can feel it.
Felt
Yeah.
it then a bit. Yeah.
But to know that that's how bad you've been, and you know you've got your gym now. I mean, the gym is fucking buzzing. I'll say, myself, like I've been there.
Yeah.
And I think you know that's your new future now, isn't it? If you want to put it like that, and that's your new focus.
Yeah.
But knowing that you've been through all that pain in the past, you're able to now serve yourself plus other people, aren't you, going forward?
Yeah. And like I say, a lot of obviously life experiences, and certainly with the martial arts and the progression pathways and the good things and the bad things, the amount of things I've been let down on and false promises and all my experiences, you know, I was put as to be a coach. Yeah, I never made it. I never made it to the top of the sport. Yeah, I didn't. You know, I think I had the ability to, but the stars didn't align. So now I believe they're aligning for me to be one of the best coaches out there, and that's what over the next 10, 15 years I'm going to try and become, and hopefully guide all my students that I care about massively the right way, and them all them little red flags that pops up and caused me aggro or lost me opportunities, I can, no, that's bad, we're not going to do that, we're going to go this way because it's going to be better for you, you know what I mean? And hopefully my experiences can benefit them. That's what I look forward to, watching them things happen and materialise. So it's all worked out in the end all right. I can pass it on to people I care about and hopefully give them a better run than me.
Have you got like a team of fighters? How do you work it?
Yeah, so we've got a few amateurs that compete for us, and a couple of pros, a couple of seasoned pros, and a couple of up and coming pros as well. So the team isn't as big as it used to be, but we're rebuilding. We're rebuilding a team, and starting from the ground up.
And you're quite hands-on with these guys, aren't you? Because obviously there's a lot, again, using your experience from what you know and what you know you need, it's important that you give them that, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Are you quite like on hand with them, like, I don't know, messages and calls and things?
24/7, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, whatever they need, yeah.
Because obviously, you know, if they're at a decent level, they're not going to need hand-holding and such, are they? But at the same time, it's important to have that support all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
that's our job, isn't it?
How many times will they train per week? Like, what's the...
Well, the pros should be in twice a day, but they'll train at least for me once a day and maybe elsewhere. The ones who are a bit more committed twice a day, I'd like to see you guys twice a day if I can. The ones who work full time, every evening. They're in pretty much every evening.
And when you say twice a day, what would the 2 sessions look like?
So AM, again, it'd be a mix, but so at the minute, so Monday is more squad sessions the daytime, or at least have guys at intermediate to experience level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've done quite a bit. There's no beginners in the days as such, but just trying to build the numbers. I've let it be a bit more open to intermediate kind of guys as well. But Mondays would be MMA positional work, sparring, ground and pound, wall work, bad position kind of training. Trying to prepare for the worst. Tuesday would be a lot of MMA drilling, whether that be striking, again, drilling. So practicing certain scenarios where I'm seeing guys being weak or having issues. Finish with a bit of wrestling and submission work. At the end, sparring. Wednesday, big gloves, shin pads, sparring with some drills.
So you're a bit harder with that.
Yeah, Wednesday and Friday probably the harder days. Thursday, all jiu-jitsu technique and a little bit of rolling, and then Fridays, small MMA gloves sparring. So very similar to the Wednesday, but more realistic with the MMA gloves. You know, you need to do it. Yeah. I don't used to do it every day with the small gloves, keeping the power down a little bit. Someone get carried away, always the case. But the range being different, you know, not being hiding behind double guard, gets rid of some bad habits and keeps it, you know,
realistic to what it is.
Realistic, specific to what it's going to be. So that's how.
Would you wear head guards and stuff?
Yeah, you wear head guards. Yeah, I mean, realistically, one should always wear a head guard for head clashes, etc. Not many do. I wore a head guard for quite a while after my last fight because these were very tender, these cuts. But I don't really wear a head guard either. Kind of gets in the way, but again, you probably realistically one of you should. In small groups,
it's just to protect you from so you can continue training.
Certainly in
isn't it,
camp,
really?
near the end of a camp, I'd wear a head guard. You don't want to get a silly cut that puts you out of a fight at the end, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much how the mornings will work, and then the evenings, as you know, class based. There's a couple of sparring in the evening. If guys spar in the morning, I won't spar them at night unless there's something drastically off. You know.
Yeah, that they need to work on.
Yeah. But again, a lot of drilling, maybe a bit of rolling. Or, you know, some nights there, fitness work there, S&C work, whatever. So, yeah.
So what would you say, like, for someone who's starting off, like, you know, what to get used to, how to get into it and that sort of thing?
Well, it means regarding nationwide, like, find your local gym, you know, do your research, make sure they've got good coaches and it's a nice, safe environment as such. Or find a few local gyms, travel, explore, try a few different coaches, you know, find your feet. And just get yourself on a beginner class. Regarding ourselves, we have new guys starting all the time. So any beginner class, just literally rock up. Yeah, certainly at our place, drop in for a free trial whenever you want. Come and say hello. Also, Joe, as you know, fantastic jiu-jitsu coach. If it's just looking at doing jiu-jitsu, he even does throughout the year 6-week beginner courses. So you come in for an hour every Saturday. And just familiarise yourself with some fundamentals. Dip your toe in the water and see if it's for you. And then from that, we get a lot of guys going to the JITS program from that. Some of them transition, start doing the kickboxing, the MMA from that. Or vice versa. Some guys come in for the kickboxing and drift into the grappling. So it works both ways. But
do you find that people find that they've got an area that they're more suited to? Do you know what I mean? You might find the grappling's more you, or the stand-up's more you.
Yeah, absolutely. The one that always makes me laugh. This is the funny one. That people always say, "I'll do the grappling because it's I'm not getting punched."
Easier. Oh right.
I'm not getting punched.
Right.
It's safer. Yeah.
I thought that's what. Maybe
some with the black eyes. Then obviously you don't want to get a black eye. But then I had 2 cuts the other week, both from grappling. But caught a knee. But so grappling, every injury I've ever had is grappling.
Yeah.
So I was putting it all up. But grappling's rough and tough as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but listen, you could twist your ankle stepping off a curb.
No, of course you can.
Do you know what I mean? So like, if you want to live life and do something and build confidence, and you know, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's how to control a human being. You know, how to stay safe and jiu-jitsu, striking, whatever it may be. The wrestling stuff I take care of on a Monday and Saturday, like they're busy classes. You know, that's your glue. That's your middle ground. You know, you want to submit someone, you got to take them down, and if you want to punch someone in the head, you don't want to be taken down. So that middle area, that glue. That's.
But again, as a fighter, I mean, I'm talking more the extreme elite level here, but you don't want a weak area, do you? Because as soon as someone knows your weak area, they're going to go for it, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it. You got to be as I say, you got to be a jack of all trades, but you got to be a half decent master of all trades these days because the level's so.
If I'm honest, it's the exact same in strongman, right?
Yeah.
If you're a great presser but a shit mover,
exactly.
you can't win a competition.
Yeah, I always think that myself when I watch it. Yeah.
I think it's just trying. Me and my farmers.
Yeah, is that your weak area, bro? Yeah.
Well, mate, it's my grip. The thing is, I can deadlift grip. I just can't farmer's grip. So.
Right. Was that injury or just?
You know what? I think it's just something that as I've got heavier. So I used to be under 90s, and then I went under 105, which is the one before the Opens. And then it's like, since I went to there, the weights obviously got heavier and everything else. Yeah. And then I found that as my weakness. Because in the 90s, in the 90s it wasn't a weakness, but things got heavier. Plus, not only that, my fingers are more like sausages now. So,
right.
Do you know what I mean? But everything gets bigger, don't it? So it's so obviously that my grip then become the highlight that Zach's just mentioned to make sure that it's now highlighted even more.
Even more so, isn't it? Yeah, of course, yeah, controlling, man. I mean, it ain't necessarily as much about the hand strength flow, do you know what I mean?
Wrist and locks and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, arm position and, you know, for instance, I want to body lock someone or a single leg, I'm holding the leg, but if the incorrect hand's on top, I might be able to power it, but, you know, if the weight supporting hand isn't, the weight bearing hand isn't supported, you know, it doesn't matter how strong you are, you're probably going to lose that grip against someone. Good.
Yeah.
You know, it's positioning. Even just down to the simple grips, you know, grip choice as well. You know, I'll try and do a guillotine with a gable, it's not going to work, so I can't get my elbow high, so I'll go coin flip, you know what I mean? So as important as the grip is, it's also grip selection a bit more.
Yeah.
But you're getting me the Atlas again, the same.
Yeah, but it's thinking on the spot though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you know, I mean, obviously, I did grappling in the army, but it was totally different because it was more like back to back. What's that called? Where you just do back to back, just turn and grapple.
Yeah,
The same sort of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So
just,
we used to do that in the army, but it's more of like they just force you to do it because they just want you to be fast on acting and thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
But then obviously I did grappling quite a while ago. I don't know why, but I've done grappling a couple of times. I find it quite an interesting thing.
Yeah.
But then when I did it not too long ago at yours, it just re-brought back that whole thought of like how fast you have to think. Do you know what I mean? Because you do, don't you? Like it's because you know there's so much going on. There's so much that can go on. But plus, because I haven't got many tools to work with. That then makes it harder, doesn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and then you rely, like you're saying about then you obviously rely on your attributes you've got in abundance.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, you get tired. But then, like I said, that's only because you haven't got the tools. If you had the tools, you'd go all day. You'd be a monster.
Do you think it would be a good thing to add on to, let's just say for me, if I was to, you know, roll a couple of times a week, do you think that would help my fitness overall? 100%.
Yeah, it's just doing it with the right guys and... You know, make sure no silly injuries are picked up.
Yeah, you're progressing, but not.
Yeah. So it's been with probably with the higher level guys.
Yeah, because everyone controlled. Do you think?
Yeah, because we know silly decision making. Certainly, if he was preparing for any sort of competition or drifting towards camp, but 100%.
That's why, if I'm honest, I pulled away not long ago because I had comps.
100%. Yeah, you have to priorities, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the higher level guys,
they can control better.
There's no. Yeah, but it would certainly be a lot less likely if you're being injured. You know what I mean? But yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I'll be back.
You're sold. There you go.
So, tell us like where what's happening with you now? Where are you going next? Where's life taking you at the moment?
Yeah, so very busy coaching at the gym all day there. Morning sessions, even some lunchtimes. Joe does some lunchtime. I've done a couple of them. And evenings, every evening, all evening. Uni's back on soon as well. We coach there as well. So
do you coach in the uni or do they come to you?
So coach in the uni. I've been there 10 years doing the MMA up there. But this year I'll be there a couple of days a week and then actually be coming to us for the first time.
Yeah, I noticed quite a few students come to you now. Yeah,
they come to us anyway, but the actual uni club will be coming as well on a Friday.
Got you.
So we basically had a little crossover there starting in September. So that's nice. But yeah, just coaching. I've got guys fighting on the 2nd of September. A golden ticket in Wolverhampton. Got 5 guys on there. And then I go on holiday off to Orlando and then back. I've got some guys fighting on the 7th of October up in BMF in Barnsley as well. We've got 7 on there as well. Some of our younger lads, like our teens, are on there making their first bout, so that's quite exciting. We've got a lot of that age coming through. You know, Jay, Zach, Will, Muzzy, Henry, all these young kids, really, kids, 16 to 18.
I bet that's a good feeling for you though, isn't it? Because you're, let's just say it straight. I mean, I'm not saying these guys are on the streets doing naughty shit anyway, but that's how we look at it, don't we? Like, I always look at it like I'd rather someone be in the gym spending their life away doing something than just hanging around doing nothing. I mean, we just figure out if there's any way we can do that for the community. You know what I mean? Through either the council or the government or something. But it's just got to get these people in. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people with nothing to do. Yeah. You know what I mean, nothing to do. And then, you know, what's better than doing some MMA or even doing some strongman? Just feeling good. Having a purpose.
Having a purpose, having a goal.
And also finding out they probably are really good at it. You know, because that's the opportunity. Unless you get that put in that position, you don't know, do you? Like, you find out that, oh, shit, I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to figure out whatever the recipe is to get them people in a bit more, you know, the ones that wouldn't think about it or not doing much. And I don't know how you go about getting them people in that not asked, but these youths, I'd love to have 100 youths, 16 to 18-year-old lads behaving, you know, trouble, whatever, crime going down and all that sort of stuff, community being, but I'd love that, just figuring out, watch this, if you watch this guys get in, come and see us, we'll figure it out, you know, we'll figure it out, but we need to, next generation, start building it, innit?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Question, who's the toughest ethnicity in MMA overall?
In what's
around
it?
the world?
What nation-wise? Oh, I don't know. I mean, every. I mean, there's no rule, but obviously every nation has its kind of.
Biased, right, and say.
No. So every nation kind. I mean, now there's fantastic fighters everywhere, but you know, obviously Americans usually. Actually, no. Obviously, Americans are your good all-rounders and your wrestlers, but yeah, your Dagestanis and your Russians, I'd say at the minute they stand out guys at the minute. Like,
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Do
the
you
mindset.
think that is something to do with that, like the Russian?
I believe
just
it's
hard?
certainly like you know, you Khabibs and all the Dagestani guys. They're I think there's a lot of things. I think it's hardship. Probably not having much in them areas of the world.
Yeah.
I believe it's religion. As in good. They're all Muslim, good morals, and they're all very devout in their religion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They live their life correctly. They have no alcohol, and they're not going out drinking and drugging. And just from a young age, like I say, from what I've seen, I've been out to Chechnya and stuff. There's not the world to do out there apart from fight.
Yeah.
Apart from fight. So
it's funny because when you speak to strongmen that are in that same sort of thing, I was talking to Kordiak. I don't know if you know him. He's one of the world's strongest men. He was over with us not long ago, and he was saying, like, because I said to him, why strongman, why watch you? He said, otherwise I'd just be in prison. And then that's the fact, though, isn't it? Right? It's like, well, he would have nothing else to do. Yeah. You either get strong or you just literally you are a nobody.
Yeah.
And he's it's completely gone out of my head now. No, yeah, sorry. Where's he from? Ukraine. That's it. Sorry, went out of my head then. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So and that's that sort of lifestyle, isn't it? Where it's it's a rough lifestyle. Yeah. And you're gonna just, I don't know. Over those places, people go missing all sorts, don't they? Like,
You think here, like, but even here, like, the youth, they've not got much to do, and they drink, drugs, whatever.
But I feel like here, there's more noise, isn't there? There's more
distraction.
Yes. There's more things that will go do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one you're probably always going to struggle to beat, innit?
Yeah.
But it'd be lovely, wouldn't it? Because there's a lot of tough young lads here, or game young lads, and what I mean? It'd be nice to get them in either sport, wouldn't it? But how do you do it? But certainly, there's your answer. I'd say the Dagestanis, the Chechens, the Russians, all them guys there.
Did you say you've been to Chechnya?
I fought in Chechnya, yeah. I fought in Chechnya in a tournament out there. Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
So where can people find you, and where's your best socials and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so the gym's HW1 .uk. That's the website. HW1 on Instagram. I'm Judo Jimmy. We've got Joe Taylor at Venator Submission as well. So any questions regarding the gym or anything, DM us, or just simply come and see us, nip in and see us if you're local. Yeah. Come have a look around the place.
And come down and let one of them choke with a I don't know, with a little finger or something. Something he's not ready for. But mate, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much for your time, man. And I'm sure everybody got a lot to take away from that, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Cheers.